That would be for me, of course, Corey Taylor. Slipknot, which I got very heavily into when I worked at Hot Topic for 8 years, and Stone Sour, of course, and CMF, Corey's solo project. I liked the first one. The second one was all right, but I think these are two classics. And I think the other Stone Sour albums, I just like cover tunes, and I like both of their cover that came out on RSD separate times. They had two cover albums. Meanwhile, in Burbank, and what was the other one? I can't remember. Anyhow, yeah, and then this great Slipknot album, of course. So that's my favorite musician from a couple of bands, or whatever you say. The next question is a question that every vinyl person gets asked all the time, or every music person gets asked all the time, and everybody's always disappointed by my answer. Beatles or Rolling Stones? I don't like the Beatles. Maybe I'll make a video on it someday. I will never like the Beatles. The Rolling Stones, I've seen in concert a couple times. Great concert, man. Some classic songs, but I wouldn't think about listening to them, really. Next one is, sorry, no Beatles, guys. The next one is, you found a bag of weed and what are you going to listen to? I never had a preference. Back in the day when I first started smoking, I was like, oh, man, we should listen to some Floyd, man, or some Zeppelin, or blah, 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 80s, 90s. And now it's just kind of like, I don't drink really that much. So I smoke, and it's legal finally. So yeah, I don't really need any special things to listen to. Now, if I'm going to drink, because I rarely drink, I'll put on some good time party music. I was drinking a couple weeks ago, and I had some, like some Kool and the Gang on, some Commodores, just some fun listening to music. But getting high, I listen to whatever. Most of the time I watch a movie. The next one is, if you could be anybody, if you could be reincarnated as anybody, who would it be, alive or dead? And that would most definitely be Mr. Dean Martin. I would love to have been Dean Martin. I would love to have sat in these sessions. I would love to have been as cool as him. I would love to have been, he was such a great guy. Half the time he was drinking iced tea because it was a gimmick. He wasn't a big drunk like everybody thought he was. He wasn't. I think out of all the Rat Pack members, he's probably the one that got in the least amount of trouble behind the scenes. But yeah, I love Dean Martin. I love him, and I would love to have been, even for a day, just a day. I was vaccinated with a phonograph needle. And then the just whole, kissed her on her daddy's boat and shot across the lake. That's just, that's Dave. It's party Dave, fun, no judgment, just fun, and it just makes you feel happy. But I love vaccinated by a phonograph needle. I love that line, and I know Groucho Marx originally said it. So leave it up to Dave to take it.